Now you want to talk about real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about real estate. So
Okay.
what are you? Thanks for. It's stressful talking to a radio DJ. You know,
Eh,
'cause
no
like,
lah.
wow, now I'm in a hot seat. But yes, let's talk about real estate. So what are you planning? Alright, welcome to another episode of Uncut. Today we have a very special old friend.
Eh,
And
don't
she's-
call me old eh.
Yeah, old lah. Old in terms of not age lah, but in time lah. Huh? She's none other than Daphne Khoo. You remember her or not? Okay, Daphne, take it away. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Daphne Khoo. I'm a radio DJ with Kiss 92. I'm also a musical artist. I go by the name Haneri, and I've been friends with Nick for too long.
Too long,
very
lah.
long.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's good.
That
It's good.
We've been friends for so long.
Yes. Okay, good. Thanks for coming today. And I think what many people want to know, right, is after Singapore Idol, what happened?
What do you mean? What happened? I grew up. So Idol, a lot of people might, that's still the thing that I'm best known for, which honestly is kind of sad because I've done so many things, and Idol was 20 years ago now.
I mean,
So
that,
it was
that means it really helped.
It stuck with people.
Yeah.
But that is a good thing, and I feel very blessed about that. But I've been making music for the last 20 years, and then of course in the recent year I joined Kiss 92 as a radio DJ, and we're working on a lot of like fun projects. Like I wrote a new show that's coming out in October, and it's been really interesting lah. Like it's Singapore, you kind of
Just gotta
do what you need to do to make money,
You gotta to like
survive.
Like stir shit up, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes. The thing is, one amazing thing about Singapore, while it is small and while it's difficult for the entertainment industry, people that are entertainers, the good thing about it is that there's no real rules. You know what I mean? Like whatever you can think of to try and do, it's very possible that you're the first.
I guess so, but there are also rules, ma. You think there are like boundaries that you cannot.
Well, okay, within the boundaries of what we have, like then, and I think that if anything, as a country, Singapore is very respectful of others
Exactly,
and each other. That's why we're so harmonious.
So cohesive.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But that counts for a lot.
That's what we have been doing. I mean, our country has been doing for the past few years, right?
Yeah.
And trying to make sure that everything is good and give us the right way of living.
Correct.
Right. So that brings you across. Just bring me to the time when you went to LA.
Yeah.
So how was it?
It was good. I mean, I was in the US for like 8 years. So I
Yes.
was on the East Coast first, and then I went to the West Coast. So LA was the last second half of my US
Your
adventures.
your adventures,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. It was honestly, as a musician, being in the US there's a lot to do. So
I love LA actually. I like the people. I think I hung out with a lot of the YouTubers back then. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, I remember
so
that.
I think they're really nice.
That's when I met you. You had
Yes,
been
yes,
going
yes,
to LA
yes,
a lot.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the vibe is very different,
Very different.
now, though. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I feel.
So it's
that.
less.
It's
friendly.
it's very woke. If
Very
that makes
woke.
any sense.
Wow.
Yeah, if that means anything. Yeah, it's very I don't know. So I guess the boundaries in Singapore are very clear, but personally, I feel that the boundaries are there in place to be respectful to other people. It's another thing to try and can I say shit?
Can
Okay.
say fuck also.
It's another thing to shit on people just because they don't share your point of view. You know what I mean? Like in Singapore, I think there's a lot of people that everything's censored, like you don't get the full. But it's out of respect. It's not to say, I don't like your point of view. Whereas I feel like the more open that you are in a country like the US, where there's freedom of speech and stuff, people are gonna put you down because they just don't agree with what you're saying. And so there becomes this whole kind of feels a little bit personal, you know what I mean?
I totally think so, because I think what we have here is something that we really respect, so that we polite and but I think in other cultures they really just slam you, and because of I think too much freedom is also not so good, right?
Right.
I know it's gonna be
In that sense, just bringing back to what I was saying, as an entertainer, it can feel restricting, but I do feel like it is not paid by government to say I'm just saying as like living outside and coming back home, I feel like there is you can be free to come up with different ideas and I dare to have try different things. It might not be at the level that the rest of the world is at, but it's ours, you know what I mean? I think that's a beautiful thing.
I think, because you are actually getting challenged in a way to fit within that boundary, but yet not stifling your creativity. Right. So coming back to Kiss, I think you are doing pretty well. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
And I heard you did something of a breakthrough in Kiss.
I don't know if it's a breakthrough.
I think it's a breakthrough.
Oh,
Can
thank
you
you.
share?
The show is not out yet. So I was, I was thinking like once I started doing the show. So I have my show called Eavesdropping. It's 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday. And I was thinking like, how can I showcase musicians more? So I started with one weekly segment called Music Monday. So everyone like got Monday blues, right?
Yes,
so then I
yes.
bring a musician in, then we talk about music, kind of start the week on a light note and a happy note.
You know how tough is it being a musician in
Yeah,
Singapore, right? That is why you're bringing that out.
Correct, and
telling
showcasing.
people,
But not only that, I think like the radio station has the privilege of bringing in international artists. And so when you put local artists and international artists on the same platform, it raises their
profile as well.
but their confidence as well, because it's like, wow, hundreds of thousands of people are listening to me now, and it's like it's for an artist, like getting your song on the radio, it's a thrill,
I
it
know.
really is.
It's really, and I know how it feels.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not an artist, but it's like, you put stuff out there and then it gets posted or it gets on international level.
I mean, you are a creator, you're an entrepreneur. When people are talking about your stuff and you see it like on billboards and stuff and your ads, it still feels like
it gives you that kind of
good.
satisfaction.
Yeah,
Very,
so
very good.
I wanted to take it a step further, and my bosses at SPH have always been very, very encouraging with like, hey, you're a local artist and we want to helm the local art scene here, the music scene here. So like, what can we do? So I brought this show pitch to my boss, and he just greenlit it immediately.
Wow.
They got the set rolling, so
Awesome.
they built an entire set around this show called the Kiss Booth.
Oh.
So it's it's by Kiss, but it's a booth. I wanted it to. Have you ever been? You've been to Japan many times, right?
Yeah.
You know those karaoke booths.
It's
So you
just,
get inside
like
and
a
then you
phone
just
booth and-
yeah,
phone booth.
and then you sing the karaoke and everything. So I thought it would be fun if I'm a singer and then I bring a musical artist in, then we just sing together,
It's like a karaoke lah.
Yeah,
Karaoke,
kind of
right?
like that. Yeah. So like the car karaoke, but
karaoke, yeah.
actually just a karaoke room. But as it evolved, it turned into just kind of like we're calling it a multimedia variety show.
Oh,
So there's like an interview segment for the podcast and it goes on radio. Then there's the we do like a little challenge in the middle. There's a different segment, and then we do the showcase segment.
Oh, wow.
So it's really for artists, and the first season is gonna come out in the around middle of October.
Oh, wow. So you heard it here first.
Yes, this is
Oh, wow,
exclusive.
thank you.
Yeah. I haven't even started promoting on my show yet.
Okay, good. This
on the
will come out
station.
soon,
Yeah.
right? Okay, great. So
Please check it
I think what really impresses me is that actually Kiss really greenlit it like immediately because they also want to really promote local talent. I think for me,
You have also been a huge supporter of that.
Yes, I have been trying to do that because I know how hard it is to really break through outside of Singapore. So that is why I really feel that, really thankful for people who really feel the same and trying to do their best for
Actually,
local talents.
I mean, you are like OG. I think, you inspire a lot of people. You inspire me.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
So I met you because our friend Sarah was telling me that you want to support like local talent. And
Yes,
at that
yes.
point in time, there was like 3, 4, 5. You're the OG sponsor for Sugar Shake.
No, because
Pizza Crack.
the thing is when back then I think what I really wanted was I was a big fan of local talents ma. So I'm actually the biggest fanboy there is. But I have nothing to offer.
That's not true. You had a lot to offer. So you
offer
clothed
whatever I
us,
can,
yeah.
So I think that's why, and I feel, I really want artists to go say, hey, just do your thing.
But
let
it
us
means
take
a
care of
lot,
your
you know.
wardrobe.
It means a lot. Like to be someone on the receiving end of it, I know how it feels, and therefore now that I'm in a position to do it, I want to do it back. And actually,
pay it forward, right?
I actually you really did inspire me, you know, because there's so few back in the day. We were just talking about it. We met in like 2009 or something. Yeah. And back in the day,
You're still
there's
very
no.
young.
Yeah, you were also very young, okay. But there was no brands that would go up to artists and say like, hey, let us help you out, you know, like, because you talk about poor artists or artists, okay, let's face it, no one in Singapore is poor.
Yeah.
Like, everyone
Not-
is doing
yeah,
okay.
yes.
But if you want to say like, if you want to compare me being in my industry for 20 years as compared to someone who's like in banking for 20 years, yeah, I'm making shit, you know what I mean? So like having like
I wouldn't know.
no, I am telling you, it's slim pickings out there. Have is have, but you gotta hustle, and even then you're making like graduate pay, you know what I mean? But the payoff is, of course, I wake up and I do what I love every day.
I think
that counts for a lot.
that is
you
how
know?
you keep going in life, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's just to say that like the brands that support me make my career. I don't stand here alone. Like, yeah, maybe I'm an independent artist, but the people that support me, the people that are like, hey, we want to feature you because we think you're doing a great job. Like, I would not be able to keep going if people didn't believe in me, you know, and I think that counts for, like, fans listening to you is one thing that keeps you going.
How not to believe in someone like her? Just look at her face. Just look at her.
Oh no, I mean, like, I really appreciate it because the music, you know, sometimes it doesn't speak for itself, and so yeah, thank you.
So music wise, how are you doing now?
It's been a bit difficult.
It's been difficult.
Yeah, it's been difficult. But I think that's like might be a bit of a location thing, and also the fact
What
that.
do you mean location? Like,
So when I was in the US, I think my target market for my music is the US and the UK.
Okay.
And I think it's mainly because that's like the music that I listen to, and that's the kind of music that I like. You know, so I make that kind of music, and when I was there, it was doing fairly well. And then coming back to Singapore, it kind of took a big dip because I'm not promoting there, I'm not playing shows there, I'm not touring there anymore.
because it's just too far, right?
It's too far, yeah. And it wasn't practical, especially during COVID. Like, so after my few viral songs, I was in the US, but then COVID hit. So I was actually working on, it was this whole thing. So my visa needed to get renewed in the US, so
Everything
I couldn't
just
work.
came at the same time, right?
Yeah, so then while I couldn't work, I was like, okay, now I work on my next album since the music seems to be doing well. So when, as a musician and a songwriter, when your music is doing well, you will still get paid from royalties.
Yes, yes.
So I was like, I'm okay.
On Spotify.
Not Spotify, but but as a songwriter, it's your PRO, your performing rights organization. So like for Singapore, it's Compass, in the US, I have ASCAP, there's, you know, BMI and all that kind of stuff. So you get paid lah, you know. If you write a good song, you can live off of that for a while, you know.
Yeah.
And I haven't written a good song, but I've written many mid songs, so I still get paid somehow. But yeah, so I was working on my record, and I was like, okay, when I get my visa, I can tour again, I can do all this, because you cannot work in the US while you're waiting on your visa. The visa never, the result never came out. And then as I finished working on my record, COVID hit.
Oh, okay.
So then I had to come back
Shit.
home. Then my visa ended up getting rejected. My renewal got rejected. I came back. I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, so I felt very discouraged. I ended up releasing that particular EP like 2021. So like as COVID was still kind of like, you know,
it's
looming
still-
in the air.
It's still
but-
like not here, not there.
yeah,
it's
nobody
trying
was
to- yeah,
traveling
yes,
still,
yes.
and so it made it very difficult because I could not reach my audience, and nobody in Singapore really knew I was back. It's like, oh, where is she? Is she in the US? Is she back in Singapore? Like, nobody really knew. So it made it very difficult to focus my energy on my regular demographic, and I had to find other ways to make income lah. Because after a while, like, even if you have a hot song, the royalties that come in, they wane
start
lah,
to
you know.
dwindle a little bit,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then I started having to work. Then I got a work job. And
So
then,
what, the work job is Kiss or work
No,
job?
it was a job,
It was
like a proper job, yeah.
What was it?
I can't say.
You can't say.
Yeah.
It's not illegal, right?
It's not illegal. No. It's a tech company, but they no lah. When you sign with them, they request that you keep it.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
But so that's got done.
So that was two years. I worked there for 2 years.
That's it.
And I love tech actually, so it was good working there. And I was working my way up. But then this KISS thing came in, and I was like, I love being a radio DJ too as well.
Yeah, I think you're doing good.
So
you look very happy.
I am. I'm very happy. Boss, I'm very happy. Yeah, I am, and I really am so grateful. So Charmaine Phua, who I was with at a different radio station before, she called me and she was like, hey, we need potentially come in for part-time, you know. And I had been praying. I was like, Lord, I'm manifesting going back to radio, because I love doing media. I mean, that's why I studied, and you know, and I miss all my friends in media as well, and I think that I'm good at it lah, you know. So I was like, wow, you know, after I worked the work job and I was slogging away, I was like,
because you're just dying inside. Are you
I was a little bit. Right? It's more just because I know what I'm good at and I wasn't doing it.
And then you are just doing something just to put food on the table. Or
correct,
that,
right? And you know, pay rent and stuff. And so yeah, it was not soul sucking, but it was more just I can do more than this.
It's like you just don't feel a sense of achievement lah.
Correct, yeah.
At the end of the day.
But it's not the same as my own brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't have that freedom. to.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your love life.
Oh my god.
I'm very curious.
Where do I begin?
I'm waiting to go attend your wedding.
You're waiting to sell me an apartment, right?
Well, you know, that usually happens before.
Before? Yeah, actually that's something we can talk about, because you know, I'm very grateful that my parents are quite open. And
don't change subject. I see what you're doing.
Damn! Wow, you're sharp.
Very fast.
Yeah, love is a tricky thing. I mean, I'm open, I'm out there. I think for a long time in my 30s, and especially in my 20s as well, I was not open to being in a serious relationship because I was very focused on my career.
Okay. I'm glad you added that part, because I thought you just wanted to play. No.
I mean, it's okay. I grew up in a very Christian family, very staunch religious family. Yeah. I thought when I was 18, 19, I would just meet the fella and then get married.
Get
you know, correct. Then I would just be together forever, and we praise the Lord and just all that stuff all day until I die. Correct. But and then at that point I already joined Idol already, so it was not fame was not a thing that made me think oh, I'm not gonna settle down anything. No, in fact, if anything, it was that I got sick when I was 25. I had cancer, and I thought to myself it would be so heartbreaking if I was married or with a partner and then I almost die. I feel like I don't know how I would I don't know. It really scared the shit out of me lah. You know,
25 is really young.
Yeah, but I mean, I felt even though I'm young, how can I start something if the chances of reoccurrence is potentially high, you know?
So far, so good.
So far, so good, yes.
So far, so good.
Yeah, praise the Lord. Yeah, so it's been 12 years I've been in remission. But at that point, it's every year, and then there are, you know, I have complications, and there is a little bit of that fear, every time I get sick, or what if it's back, you know, and I get checked up pretty frequently, even though it's been so long. Most people after 10 years, they only go every 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
But I'm still going biannually, so I go twice a year because there was another cancer case in my family. Then my father passed from cancer as well. So all of these things, my OBGYN was just come in more, just do more checks you know.
Just be more careful.
Correct. I mean, better to be safe than sorry, right? So anyway, I think because of that, to go back to your love thing, I was very hesitant.
Come back.
I'll bring it back. So I was very hesitant to fall in love, you know, because, and then somehow my career was doing well. I was in the US. I was making a lot of music. I was learning so much. So it didn't really hit me until I think I was 34 or something, going into my mid 30s.
That's just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, really, that I was better get serious. I better, cause you know, they talk about women and the body clock because of the cannot have babies
Cannot
and
babies,
everything.
yeah.
But I was so against having a timeline to fall in love when I was younger.
Then now you feel it, right?
Now I feel it, and I wish I didn't. And that's the thing. I'm. You know, there's
just
the
get
nurture
it
and
first lah.
nature.
Just get it.
Just have the
first.
baby
Yeah,
first.
just get it.
I have a dog. I got a dog instead.
It's
yeah.
different.
I know. I'm very aware that it's different. It's less commitment, you know, and lower commitment. Don't have to get pregnant to have it.
Yeah, you have to wait
Yeah.
9 months.
No. Until I believe lah. I have faith that what is meant to be and what is mine will be mine lah, you know. But until then, I just do the best that I can, and if the fella come along, then the fella come along lah. But I'm open. Now I'm open.
Now you're open lah.
Yeah.
Not seeing anyone lah.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
Really?
There's no label.
There's no label lah.
Yeah,
So it's,
just get to know people. Yeah.
Just
There's someone I like.
there's something you like
Yeah,
lah.
there's someone I like. Yeah.
So
That's
someone.
as much as I can.
So
say.
what is your type? Do you have a type? Do you like, you know, someone handsome or someone rich, someone older, someone younger?
Actually,
I'm
rich
just
is
asking
like,
for a friend, you know, asking for friends.
Actually, rich is not a very high priority for me. I
Why?
think because the way my family grew up, right, we didn't come from. Okay, my mom's side of the family, they are very comfortable. But my dad worked very, very hard to make us comfortable. And I watched the way my parents, like, not only did they work hard so that we could, you know, go on holidays, like, you know, have these kind of experiences. But it wasn't easy. But they made it work. And they made that commitment to each other. And yet we also have great memories together. And I don't think that starting with money is the thing that makes your relationship strong. It's when it's difficult and you work it out
vibes lah.
together.
Vibes.
Yeah, correct. And that's like, you know, watching my parents like dance in the living room and stuff like that, like little things like that. I think when you don't go through the difficult times, you don't have a reason to celebrate
Yeah, you
because
don't-
everything
you
is
can't
easy.
appreciate the good times, right?
So I think that the money thing is like, you know, and I'm also very independent. Maybe Nick was saying maybe too independent.
I
That's
think
why
too
very
independent. Then
difficult.
guys scared ma. It's like, walao, this one.
Is that really the thing though? Like,
I'm not sure because I'm not scared,
maybe I'm also very picky. Yeah.
right? Or you have really high. I mean, I wouldn't know, but you know, whoever that try going after her can come up.
Nobody,
You
don't
can
have,
comment
don't have.
and say, no, she's very picky, you know, whatever after you. Yeah.
No lah, I mean, yeah, I think also I have like a bit
I mean, you have a
of
standard lah.
No, I was gonna say I'm insecure also.
Insecure, meh?
Yeah, a bit lah, a bit. I think also because if I'm in something, right, I'm very manja. Yeah, and some people cannot handle also.
So that's good what? You
Independent
intimidated,
and manja.
but yet manja, wow. Good balance ma.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's me being insecure, thinking that like someone might not like that. Like there's a big contrast. That is something that's missing these days. You know, like I'm always the one that take initiative. Like I wrote a song to ask this boy to go steady.
What, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
How old was that? Or is it
That was
recently or what?
maybe like 4 years ago.
4 years ago
Yeah,
ah.
maybe 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe scared lor.
No lah, together then book out.
Tiga buka lah. Okay. So
Yeah.
what, is he a boy younger than you or?
That one was not. That one was 8 years older than me.
Oh wow. So that one was not. So do you mean you have someone that is younger than you?
My most recent.
Most recent,
yeah.
or the one before the.
What is this? No, I'm saying okay. What I mean to say is that I don't have a type. I think.
You don't have a type,
I
yeah.
mean, I have something. Okay, I cannot date anyone that smokes. Smoking is a big no-no for
Okay.
me. Yeah, that is a
That is
non-negotiable.
no
Non-negotiable.
deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I guess like everything else is like kind.
Yeah, no smoker. You better either quit or hide yourself very well.
Cannot. Yeah, honesty is also very
Okay,
important.
honesty is very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, just self-awareness. Like I don't necessarily need someone that's like super ultra mature, but mature enough because I feel like I'm quite childlike. Like I like being like childish and having fun and stuff. But along a sense of why is it becoming like a
Become a
dating show?
Okay, let's go to the part where you try to change subject. So
Yes.
let's talk about real estate now. So
Okay.
what were you saying?
So what am I saying about my mom said that
Yeah.
my parents are quite open lah, so they were like, oh, it's important to know if you can live together before you get married. Which would you agree?
Yeah, you have to test out the goods first.
No, but I think there's a certain thing
that
like
was what I think
Someone else
someone
said.
else messaged. I think that was one of the most important factor for them.
Yeah.
That you need to really find out each and other's
quirks
quirks.
and, yeah, because travel together is one thing.
Yes, yes.
You can put on a show for like a week,
You can
even if
still
you
tahan,
travel a few
right?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but living together is a whole
Then
other
you start to
ballgame.
have like, hey, why is this here? How come we are not doing this?
Correct.
Yeah.
But I also think that comes from a place where you need to have like I realize that in relationships now, it's not how well you are together, it's how you deal with conflict together. Because that's what's going to hold you over in the life.
Yes.
In life.
In life, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think how you integrate each other's life into one, I think that is the main challenge. It's not about changing or obviously change for the better, but not because of like personal attack kind of stuff.
Correct. And
right?
people will change. That's the thing. Every 7 years, our entire body cells, everything change.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's scientifically proven.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I watched the documentary, but
Okay, good.
hopefully it's accurate. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we learned something new today.
Maybe a bigger person more than 7 years.
Yeah.
But by right, our cells all renew.
Oh, renew, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I mean, if you think about it, our blood also is like the air, sorry, not blood, but our air goes in and we exchange that air. So everything that makes us move, even like the water that flows, the food we eat, everything goes in, go out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So change is inevitable,
So it's
I
a
think.
rejuvenation.
Correct, yeah. So you cannot fight change. I don't know, I'm in this place right now, right, where it's like there's the advice where, oh, people never change. And then there's a whole other thing where people never stay the same. So I'm like,
So
which
I
one
think,
is it?
That change is always a constant.
Correct.
I think that is the
I also
that
think
is the
that.
one.
But I think that maybe character is the thing that doesn't change. You think?
I think, yeah, maybe that. But I think with time and maturity, probably you probably do a little bit of a shift.
Yeah, they were saying that like there are few events in life that will change, like that will bring about actual real change.
Yeah. So I
Like
guess
a big event, you know.
that illness that you have,
Yeah, that was
probably
definitely.
one of them that really made that switch and wow,
Yeah.
you know.
Losing my dad also, I think, was a very big eye opener for me in life. Yeah. But there will always be these moments. Now you want to talk about real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About real estate. So
Okay.
what are you? Thanks for. It's stressful talking to a radio DJ. You know,
Eh,
because,
no
like,
lah.
wow, now I'm in a hot seat. But yes, let's talk about real estate. So what are you planning? Are you planning to find a boyfriend that has already a real estate? And then you just
no. Actually,
because
to
I
be
know
very
you are very
honest,
dependent, so I don't think that's an
so
option
okay,
for you.
the thing is, I would love to BTO, but I can't
Yes.
because I'm a PR.
Yeah, PR. PR can BTO, but you cannot PR.
Alone.
You cannot. Yeah, yes, correct.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Because I was like, oh, I'm over 35, and then I realized, oh, I read all the things and like.
So you have intention to come. So for context, she's an Australian citizen
For now.
for now. So she's a Singaporean PR. So I think one of the questions that I asked her before the show was, are you intending to convert?
Yes, so I mean, for everyone that voted for me on Idol and you're like, what? I was Singaporean then, I just must state for the record. So you can have dual citizenship until you're 21. Then they will ask you to decide, choose one. Yeah,
yes.
because Singapore passport is very powerful. You cannot have one and another. That's the reasoning, which
Yes.
I fully agree with.
Yeah, I know, I totally agree.
And just to, disclaimer, I chose Australian citizenship because at that time I was going to finish school and it was cheaper for me to finish uni as an Australian. So I thought in the long run I'll save my parents some money,
Yes.
which we did lah. But then it was tough at first
And
until I
then
got
you
my
just
PR lah.
stuck all the way until now.
I had to apply for my PR. Yeah,
okay.
but then thankfully I have it now, and then I've been a PR long enough that I can apply for citizenship.
Okay.
So
So
that's
are you intending to do that?
yes.
Oh,
I
that'd be
am.
great.
Yeah.
So then you do that, then
Yes,
we plan
then I
for
can
you.
BTO
You can
myself.
do it,
Yeah.
But what is your end goal? Do you just want to have a HDB or where are you staying now actually?
I'm renting a HDB unit.
renting a HDB unit?
An older unit. So
Okay.
actually, I love my neighbors because they're all like
Very family oriented, very kampong
all
spirit.
very like uncle auntie.
Okay, uncle, auntie,
yeah, like actually not even uncle auntie, they're like grandma, grandpa kind. Yeah,
So
they're
they
very
take care of
sweet.
you, right?
No lah, as in I just see them when I walk outside and stuff. But it's great, honestly, personally for me because when I make music, nobody complains.
Oh, okay, they love it
I
lah.
think they cannot hear. No.
They cannot hear.
Yeah, that was so I lived next to this uncle, right? And then every morning when I walk out to go to work, I will wave at him and say good morning or good afternoon because afternoon already. But then there was a few mornings, right? I said good morning to him, but he was reading newspaper, then he never replied. Then I was like, okay, maybe he's like busy or something. I think I realized, right, he cannot hear me. So only when he waved, then he see me, then he will say hello. Yeah, then I was like, wow, no wonder nobody
That's good
complained.
lah.
Sure. The ideal situation,
Yeah, I
you know.
think that's the best. You don't have to
But
pack
renting
your-
is not ideal lah. I would love to
Yes.
have a place, but the market now is, it was great for a minute at the end of COVID, but
Yes, I think generally prices are looking up because demand is there.
Yeah.
So I guess what we can do is, some people would say, then probably wait for prices to come down,
Yeah.
or for a better time to come in. I try not to do salesy stuff, right, on the show, but.
But educate me though.
Yeah,
Educate
it's,
me
it's
because
really hard to chase the prices because as long as there's demand, then and the supply is not meeting that demand.
But correct me if I'm wrong. BTO makes the most sense, right?
Yeah, video makes the most sense if you have no other plans, right?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so you see a typical BTO, you need 3 to 4 years before they are built,
Correct.
and then another 5 years before you can sell,
Right.
right? So
But you're
if
talking about as an investment.
So HDB is not meant for investment,
Right.
right? On the get-go, HDB is
It's
meant
more
for
it's housing.
it's housing for
yeah.
the citizens and affordable housing for the
Right.
citizens. This can be another whole topic,
Yeah.
right? But let's put it in more of a, let's say, making money point of view. 3 years to wait, 3 to 4 years to wait, 5 years MOP. You're looking at 8 years
Wow.
to probably make that 200,000-300,000. Yeah. So in terms of real estate as an investment or a good way to make money, this is the opportunity cost of 8 years. Because within 8 years, you could have done so many things
Correct.
to get you that 200,000.
And do you think maybe like getting a resale makes more sense because you can move in immediately, right?
Yeah. So resale, again, it will be something that you need to decide if you are living there till you die. Because resale might not give you that kind of profit as well.
Correct. And
Right,
then
because
because
you're-
it might be not many years left.
Yeah,
also.
not many years left,
Right.
depending on the lease decay. So I think it may be confusing in the beginning for many people, but as long
Yes.
as you have that end goal in mind to say, okay, at the end of the journey, I want to be here.
But
And that's
how
how
to
we
say?
structure.
I mean, okay, you asked me, right? I would love to, in 5 years, be married, have a kid, like another dog maybe, and have my own place, with my husband and my family. But what if that never happens?
Yeah, so, so that is where you manifest. And then in 5
It's
years,
like- it's like that,
you
it's
do
like
it.
that.
It's like that one. No, it's true because there are so many occasions that clients come to me and say, Nick, if I sell my house now, I can't find anything to buy. How?
Then you
Or
live
if
where?
if I buy already, I cannot sell. How? I say, don't manifest that. And almost, in fact, all the time, it's so nicely done where the moment the place is sold, within the next 1 to 2 weeks, we find a place to buy. So I never think of that.
That's been your.
That's been my track record, lah. If you
Okay.
want to put it that way.
So don't.
So,
Basically,
yeah,
don't worry about it
don't worry
until you
about
have to
it,
worry about
and
it.
then you have to worry about it. It's just plan accordingly because I think at the end of the day, you as long as you start planning, there is no reason for you to panic because you already know what's the plan, right? So anything in between comes in, your end goal is still very clear. How you get there is where we deal and how we deal with it. I think that's how I approach real estate especially.
I think that's also life lah.
Yeah, I think that applies to life as well. Because as long as you have an end goal, whatever that comes along the way, you know, just adjust, adapt.
It's like low-key manifesting.
You know, and then you ultimately you will get there. I think that's how it has worked for me so far. I think it's going to work for you. And then the next thing you know, Nick,
I need a place.
I need a place. Or are you free? Save the date.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Right?
You see lah. I think what's with these wishy-washy people? I my.
This one really you have to manifest really. Yeah.
No, I have to trust.
So trust the process and then just go with it. Right. So now let me see what else.
So don't you think I should ask you for a place before I ask you save the date?
You can, but sometimes like I say, now you know this plan ma. You know that you have to do either one of these, so we can still see which one to come in first.
Okay.
Right?
Don't think so much.
Yeah, don't think so much. Okay. So I think the next question to ask is what? Let me check. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is Singapore expensive?
What you say
Wait Okay, wait Okay. So the next very important question. Is Singapore an expensive place to stay?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
But you agree though,
I
right?
agree. But you see, I think there are ways to get around it. So I try not to be like, oh, you know, because you think that you can afford, I think that it's cheap. I think it is expensive, but I mean, of course, in every situation or every, I think, company or industry, there are always trade-offs. I look at Singapore like a company lah.
Correct.
Right? Because
that's
you
how
have
we
a
run.
good, it's a good boss, and then you know, the boss cannot please everyone.
Correct.
So they'll try to make rules. They'll try to. This is not endorsed by the government, by the way. But yeah, I don't want.
How many times we say
I know it's dangerous.
We just love Singapore.
This is the boundary, ma. Remember, we have a boundary.
Yeah.
We are creative. Yeah. So we have to disclaim every time we say that.
Correct.
So I think if you run, you can't please everyone. So as long as you are able to try and have an equal opportunity to say work towards something, there are always choices that you have to make. Like just a very good example. I have a lot of clients who say, "Oh, I want to go for a BTO," and sometimes they get, but they say, "Oh, but I don't like this area." Oh, I don't want this. Oh,
Cannot choose area, man. Shouldn't you BTO in an area you want?
So let's say they have a chance to choose, as in to ballot.
Oh, okay.
Right? But then when the thing comes out, oh, I don't like this area, I don't like this area, I don't like this area, or something like that, you know? But do they have a choice? They do, but you know, it's whether or not you want to go in for that. So I mean, coming to something more relevant is, but you know, also someone mentioned in previous interviews, I can buy a $1.50 kopi C siew dai. I can also buy a $8 latte, you know. So I think it comes down to whether or not, and I have to really say, when you go overseas, right, you go Australia, right, where the cai peng is $20.
Yeah.
You have a cai peng. I mean, of course, people also kao pei, like, wow, the cai peng now $6, $5.
Which is very cheap, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cheap. But see, we can't really say cheap, right? Because people get triggered. Like, oh, little cheap, man. But in context,
okay.
Right.
So the reason that I say Singapore is expensive is not the money. I mean, yes, it is. But I think that the way that our country has been structured, and it's a cultural thing. It's not a government thing. Okay. Not a government thing.
Okay, again.
It's a cultural thing. So when you are accustomed to living at home, all the way until you can afford a house, which usually comes when you're either going to get married or if you're single past 35.
Yes.
There is something about development years and figuring it out on your own that we don't get here.
So that is the
that is the price.
The gray area.
That is a price that is very expensive. That is life experience that you give up because you live here and because you grew up here. And there are great things about it. Like, I love the culture in Singapore. I love that we are all fairly close to our family, or we have that filial piety, you know, like
we don't
that
get kicked out lah.
mentality.
We don't get kicked out when
Correct.
we're 18.
But the problem with not getting kicked out is that you never
You never
carry
experience that.
Yeah, you never get to know who you are. And by the time you're in your 30s, it's too late. You're
Yeah,
already
it's
who
like,
you are.
oh dear.
You
It's
don't
like,
have you don't have time to like go through difficult things on your own. It's always like it's a beautiful thing. Like my mom is my best friend, you know. But because I left when I was 21, I still had a good 10 years to figure out who I want to be and who I am without all these voices. Hey, do this, do that, and it becomes a very what do you call it? It becomes a crutch. When I was younger, right, I was very lazy. Like if you ask me to do something, right, you gotta really nag me to do it. Yeah. And that was something that my mom brought up to me like as I got older. Because she was my manager when I was younger, right? So I did Idol when I was 16. So from then on, if I needed to write an email, I need to send things, she'd be like, hey, make sure you do this, hey, make sure you do that, hey, make sure you do. Thankfully, that time no social media, if not, I really cham already because I'm so like, I always just like, okay, I really need to do it, then I do lah. Like I really wait until
really
like last minute.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But as I started living alone and I realized, oh my gosh, nobody is gonna tell me to do this. And if I don't do it now, like I had to figure out ways.
The discipline has to be
Yeah,
there.
I had to figure out ways to like either when something comes to me, I do it there and then, but if I'm busy, I write it down. And I have somewhere to look.
To-do list.
Yeah, correct. I have somewhere to look to be like, oh, because if you don't write it down, you will forget. And my my scheduler on my phone is like
Anyhow.
my Bible like not anyhow.
Like really?
If I don't write it down in my calendar, I will forget.
forget,
That's the
yeah.
thing. So I
Sounds
know
like
the
me.
way my brain works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I got older, it was more like, okay, when things come my way, I will do it. But imagine you never get the chance to make that mistake, to realize, oh, I need to be a certain way. And that experience, and those few years of your life cannot buy, right? And that is, to me, that is very expensive.
That's the expensive.
That is
The
expensive.
most expensive part.
And people
because
don't
you
talk
can't
about
buy.
people don't talk about that expense of your life. That is years of your life and experiences that will not push you to be who you are
That's
maybe
the
supposed to be.
Opportunity cost.
Correct,
very
opportunity
high.
cost. Yeah, but you talk about you can buy coffee for $3, $2 or
It's
whatever.
your choice, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that part is different.
Yeah,
I think
that's a different
that is
expense.
totally different expense, really.
And people don't talk. People don't talk
people
about
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you.
Expensive.
This one is really, and then you suddenly get an awakening, right? But it's a rude awakening
Yeah,
because it's
and
like,
there's no choice. That's the thing. There's really no like. I guess younger people these days are starting to move out in their 20s. You
Yes.
know, like I know a lot of content creators. They like
They
make
just
enough
jump
money.
on,
They
yeah.
can rent on their own, and even that like rent is quite crazy. Like
Yeah, still crazy.
I think for me as someone that's like in my late 30s, having my own place was necessary because I needed to have my studio and my music studio and my living area on my own. Even though I love staying with my mom, I cannot work because my sister's kids come over all the time, you know, so like there's no way for me to work. So as much as easy as it was and I don't have to pay rent, I
think productivity. Yeah.
it was expensive. It
Yeah,
was that
it's
kind of
expensive.
expensive because I lose out on
Yes, yes.
inspiration or like I can't just wake up at 3 a.m. and make music, you know?
I think a lot of people miss out on that part where it's actually more expensive than actual physical money.
But that being said, now that I'm renting, I'm not saving anymore. So I can't,
You have to
you know,
find a
yeah, I
balance,
can't have the, then this is where it comes in. I have to marry someone who's saving now, I
You
guess.
already have, then you
But
just
no, I have to make it work, like just hustle more, like that. That's why I came up with the new show. I was like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
can I,
No, I think it's
work
good.
more and stuff, you know?
it's good.
But yeah, lah, yeah.
Okay, good. Maybe you can do a sharing of how, or rather some advice for aspiring musicians out there.
Build up your passion and do what feeds you creatively. Because whatever you bring to the table, only you can bring to the table. It's not something that anyone else, like the creativity that's been put in your heart, your passion, that is yours and yours alone. And if you don't feed that, you try to please everybody else, you will lose it. It's very easy to lose. But finding yourself and giving yourself that time and space and prioritizing yourself, not hurting anybody else while you do it, but just like improving and committing to that passion. That is what's going to drive you when the going gets tough, when things are difficult, on days that you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. But you will, because you love it so much, and you look around you and people that do what they do are not as happy with the things that they do. And you have to be able to look at that and be in awe and in love with it, and that will keep you going even on the difficult days.
Yeah. That's great. That's great sharing. All right, thank you for today's session. I really appreciate you taking time off. And then, in fact, now she's rushing to the studio for the Kiss show, right?
Yes.
So, thank you so much and see you
Thanks
soon.
for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.